Hi, everyone. I hope you'll indulge me for just a few minutes while I highlight and bring awareness to a nonprofit charity called Her Mighty Hands. This nonprofit has a unique mission. It has an efficient, lean model and a high level of integrity. I can personally vouch for the integrity of this charity because it was founded and is managed by my nephew, Ryan Staples. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Laura, thanks so much for having me here. I appreciate it.
I love the origin story of Her Mighty Hands, how it went from just an idea to a reality. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So this actually came about while I was a student at Texas A&M University, and I was asked to lead a case competition team, and it was for the first ever World Food Summit hosted by the United Nations. And so a school in Norway called the Norwegian Business School invited dozens of the top universities from around the world and asked us to find innovative solutions to world food hunger. And so a team of three students and myself from Texas A&M University came to understand that tonight there are 15 million people in Uganda that will go to bed hungry.
Mm.
And this staggering statistic actually stems from a gender inequality crisis. So in that country, 80% of the food that's consumed is produced by women. But that's not the problem. The problem is that for every 1 pound of food that a woman can produce, a man can produce three, because they have access to knowledge resources that women simply do not have. And so as a result, we have a third of the country that goes to bed hungry every night. We learned this and we wanted to tackle this as part of our project. So we proposed getting videos put onto tablets and then giving those tablets with solar chargers to women that are rural subsistence farmers in Uganda and allowing them to teach themselves how to farm more efficiently. Well, we ended up placing third in the world for this case competition, beating out some pretty big brand schools, which I was really excited about. But the president of the Norwegian Business School called us to the stage and said, "Ryan, are you disappointed your team placed third?" And I said, "Absolutely not. This moment is the springboard from which this idea will become a reality." And so from that moment, which is in 2021 till today, we're now a 501c3 organization. We're registered in the state of Texas. So totally a nonprofit, all tax exempt donations. And we have a board of directors with four really intelligent, capable women that have joined me. We've brought this solution to now dozens of women in rural Uganda, and the effects have just been absolutely amazing. But that's where it stemmed from, is from that case competition while I was a student at A&M.
Awesome. I love hearing about how a simple student project has become a life mission for you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you mentioned tablets, but I know you've moved more towards phones. But can you tell us a little bit more about what your organization does and how it helps women?
Sure. And it's also important to recognize the reason we're focusing on women is because
Yeah.
how how much of a disadvantage they're at in Uganda. So women in Uganda, the reason they're producing 80% of the food, even though men are so much more productive, is
Yeah.
because the women are responsible for raising all the money for their families, doing all the child care, all the home care, all the elderly care, and raising and just doing everything for their families. And the men typically don't do much. And if they do work, they don't give any of that money back to their families in the majority of cases. There are some exceptions. And so these women who typically don't finish school in rural communities because of the taboos against periods and feminine hygiene, as soon as
Mhm.
that hits, they drop out of school.
It's out.
And they're lucky to get that far. And so what we want to do is we focus on empowering women because they're the ones that are producing food and caring for their families. The problem though is that those types of classes that teach them how to be more effective farmers are in city centers. And because of all the responsibilities women have, they just simply can't go to city centers to learn this content, and also the majority of them, Laura, are illiterate. So even if they did go to these 8 hour long
They
courses,
can't read.
how are they going to take notes? How are they going to
Mhm.
read how are they going to have to rely 100% on their memory? And these are people with maybe a third or fourth grade education, if they're lucky.
If they're
And
lucky.
so what we do is we provide them with smartphones with videos of this content they could learn in person on these smartphones coupled with a solar charger and delivered to them in their local dialect. We train them
Oh,
how to use these phones, and then these phones are a mechanism to get them the knowledge they need to farm more effectively. And we give them content for how to prepare your fields, how to manage your crops once they're planted, and how to harvest effectively. It's been tremendously effective. And so our mission with these women then is to connect them with technology and knowledge to help to become empowered so they can lift themselves, their families, and communities
Mm.
from generational poverty.
Now, I saw a statistic somewhere on your website that after taking these video trainings, a woman could increase her crop production by 6.8 times, not percentage, but multiply her crop production by 6.8 times. Is this correct?
Yeah, it is. So these are families, Laura, that live off of $1 a day. And these are families with between 6 and 10 children oftentimes. So $1 a day for all of them, right?
Yeah.
Women that had smartphones, we did a project and we compared women with smartphones versus women without. Those that had smartphones after one growing season, and there's 2 growing seasons per year,
Ah,
increased their post-harvest crop sales, so selling the excess they didn't need to sell their to feed their family by 6.8 times compared to the control group. This represents more than a $500 increase or a $1,000 increase per year. Again, this is increasing their income by more than 3 times across the entire year, which is just absolutely incredible for these women to see such an increase. And that number is really cool, Laura. But we had 10 women in our pilot program that we launched several years ago. And the coolest thing we saw was that 2 of those 10 women were able to send their kids to school for the very first time
oh,
ever.
That's astonishing. I browsed through your website. It's fantastic. I'll pull it up here. It answers all the questions that I'm asking you today. While I have it pulled up, Ryan, tell us how we can donate. Can we donate an old phone, or is that completely incompatible with your model?
Yeah, so here's the problem with the country of Uganda. They don't allow used electronics into their country. And it makes sense. They don't want a lot of e-waste coming into their country. So we actually need to buy the cell phones there. So the best thing that you could do if you're interested in helping these women is to donate. It costs about $300 per woman for a growing season for her to have a phone and a solar charger.
And could she pass that phone on to another woman when she's done using it?
She has. So we actually will pass the cell phones on to a new group of women each growing season. So one cell phone you buy for $300, we passed on 6 times for an impact of more than 3,000 US dollars going back to these women's and their communities and families. And if you do that, there's a button there that says donate. There's also a big orange one right next to it that says donate today. We try to make it as easy as possible. And there you can
I
either
see.
set it up for a monthly donation or you can set it up for a one-time contribution. And you may be thinking to yourself, Ryan, I don't have $300 to donate. And if you don't, that's okay. You're in good company. But remember, these women are living off of less than $1 a day for their entire families. Even a 5, a 10, or a $20 donation would be very impactful for these women. So please go and consider making that donation. And there's also some merch, the next tab over that says shop. We have
Yeah.
some really cool t-shirts that are available. We have some really awesome, high quality. Yep, you're sporting it right there. Very nice, Laura. I love it. We have some high quality water bottle stickers there across the top, and also a sunflower package kits where you can grow them in solidarity with the women that are in Uganda. Sunflower is actually one of the staples of their diet. They anything they can do to increase the caloric intake. So they use sunflower oil to cook their foods in for the extra calories. So you can grow a sunflower kit there in solidarity with the women that are in Uganda, which is a really fun thing to do.
It is. Yes, it's both symbolic and affirmative. Hey Ryan, thanks for this information. I'll post a link to your website, hermightyhands.com, in the video description box below. You also have a wonderful YouTube channel, Her Mighty Hands, that people can subscribe to help raise awareness and visibility to your organization. This is a unique, targeted nonprofit worthy of people's notice. I want to invite my viewers to check out your YouTube channel, Her Mighty Hands, and also to check out your website and consider a donation at hermightyhands.com.
Hey, Laura, I appreciate your time. This was great.
Absolutely. Take care, Ryan. Thank you.
Okay, you too. Thank you.